7 years ago, a catastrophic event known as the opening of the dungeon changed the world forever. Monsters emerged from portals, killing countless people. Among the victims were the parents of a young boy, Han Sung-yun. Left alone, he cried tears of blood and swore to become a hunter who would destroy all monsters. For the next 7 years, Song-yun trained at the Hunter Training Center, determined to fulfill his oath. However, one day, his mentor told him he could no longer continue. Despite years of effort, Song-yun had shown no progress. He hadn't developed unique abilities or improved his skills, which embarrassed the academy. His mentor explained that Song-yun's lack of results harmed the center's reputation and called him mediocre. Song-yun begged for another chance, but his mentor refused. Though he admired Song-yun's persistence, the reality was clear: his training was not working. Many of his classmates mocked him, calling him a fool for wasting his time. On the day he was expelled, Song-yun began to doubt himself. How could 7 years of hard work yield no results? Later, sitting on a park bench, Song-yun overheard a mother and her young daughter talking. The girl proudly spoke about her father who had died protecting people during the monster attacks. When the mother asked how the girl would face challenges, the child said she would never give up and face obstacles with her head held high. Inspired by her courage, Song-yun realized he couldn't give up either. Fueled by new determination, Song-yun ran to his mentor's house in the rain, begging for one last chance to take the hunter's exam. However, his mentor refused, growing angry at Song-yun's persistence. He even offered to refund part of the training fees, but Song-yun wasn't there for money. He just wanted to prove himself. The argument escalated and his mentor slapped him, sending him crashing into a pile of trash outside the house. Sitting in the rain, bruised and humiliated, Song-yun felt hopeless. He thought about how unfair life was and wished for even a small amount of the talent hunters had. As he sat there in despair, a glowing message suddenly appeared before him. It read, "The Tower of Trials has accepted your courage and willpower." Song-yun found himself in an inexplicable situation. The ground beneath him had transformed into water, leaving him unable to stand. Each attempt to rise ended with him slipping back into the puddle. Confused and terrified, he began screaming, his voice trembling with desperation. "What is happening to me?" he shouted, his panic growing with each passing second. Nearby, the director of the training center heard the commotion from his house. Annoyed by the incessant screams, he stormed outside, muttering angrily about Song-yun's persistence. As he approached the source of the noise near the trash cans, he found no trace of Song-yun. Bewildered, he searched the area but found only silence. Dismissing the incident as a prank, he returned home, unaware of the strange reality unfolding for Song-yun. Meanwhile, Song-yun was sinking deeper into the water, unable to breathe. Just as his consciousness began to fade, a message appeared before him, glowing with an eerie light. The system's voice echoed in his mind, informing him that the Tower of Trials had selected him as one of the strongest candidates on Earth. Song-yun, still gasping for air, struggled to process this revelation. Has another catastrophe occurred? He wondered. The system then prompted him to choose a difficulty level, warning that higher difficulties offered greater rewards. Despite not fully understanding the situation, Song-yun's instincts urged him to seize this opportunity. Driven by a mix of desperation and determination, he selected the hardest difficulty. The system's voice reassured him, stating that all his injuries would be healed and he would soon enter the first floor of the Tower of Trials. Suddenly, he began falling as if into an endless abyss. Darkness enveloped him until moments later he opened his eyes to find himself in a vast desert. Song-yun looked around in disbelief. "A desert?" he murmured, squinting at the endless expanse of sand. The system announced the trial's theme, survival, and promised a unique trait as the reward for completing it. Moments later, a sword materialized in the air and plunged into the sand a few meters away. Excited by the possibility of gaining a unique trait, Song-yun couldn't help but feel a surge of hope. 7 years of relentless training, and now I might achieve what I've dreamed of in a single test, he thought, stepping toward the sword. However, before he could reach it, the ground beneath him erupted and a massive sand golem emerged. The system's calm voice declared, "The tutorial trial begins now. Survive the sand golem for 10 minutes. Penalty for failure, death." Song-yun stared at the towering creature, its sheer size and strength radiating an aura of doom. Panic surged within him. "This is insane. How am I supposed to survive that?" he thought, gripping the sword tightly. He instinctively began running, but the system's voice reminded him of the futility of escape. The golem, though slow, moved faster due to its enormous size. The desert's harsh terrain sapped his stamina, and Sun Yun realized he couldn't outrun it for 10 minutes. The world gave me a sword for a reason, he thought grimly. Either die running or fight for my life. As he ran, memories of ridicule from his peers flooded his mind. They had mocked him for his relentless efforts to become a hunter, calling him a fool for dreaming big. Their taunts fueled his resolve. Am I going to die a pathetic death just because I'm too scared to face this challenge? He thought, gritting his teeth. Years of theoretical knowledge as a cadet surfaced in his mind. He remembered that golems could be stopped by destroying their core, though the cores were usually in hard-to-reach places. Determined to turn the tide in his favor, Sun Yun devised a plan. Spotting a nearby hill, he sprinted toward it, narrowly avoiding the golem's attacks. Reaching the top, he waited for the creature to strike. As the golem swung its massive arm, Sun Yun leapt backward, dodging the attack. The momentum caused the golem to lose its balance and tumble down the hill, landing heavily at the base. Seizing the opportunity, Sun Yun slid down the slope, using the sword to control his descent. Adrenaline coursed through him as he approached the fallen golem. With a surge of courage, he prepared to strike the core and finish the fight, determined to survive the trial and claim the reward he had long yearned for.